approximately 90% of the survivors who report are all women identifying folks or gender diverse people, right? So we also know that women and survivors who come forward and report themselves, they are not able to speak to the whole context of the coercive controlled behavior themselves. And in case of the police reported, where the police is intervening and showing up, their own understanding of what is a characterization of this coercive control behavior between these two parties is not at all captured in the reports ever. We see time and again. So one is that there is law being made, and one is that is the problem in existence. Yes, the problem does exist. The pattern of violence is not necessarily incident based, but our services, the frontline police reported services, or any kind of enforcement that happens, including child protection services or mental health services, none of them are trained to understand what pattern of violence and coercive control is. So for me, one of the problem is that folks are not trained to understand it. I agree with Pam that our judiciary is not necessarily trained to understand it and capture it, but also the underlying challenge that this issue is a very gendered issue, and it impacts women and gender diverse people a lot more. But this understanding, or these law, this reform in the law that is being brought forward, is not actually looking at those gendered and controlling relationship concepts in that light. And therefore, the fear is that A, it is not understood, and B, it will be then applied uniformly as the mandatory charging has been applied. And what we will end up seeing is that more women are being harmed by this new law, because they would definitely be, the language of criminalization, you can call it, or legal bullying, you can call it, because all of that shows up in these experiences. And then we will see that there are lots more cases of coercive control now coming forward against women themselves, or who are the ones who need support and who need. But I think another factor, which Pam just alluded as well in the context of the family law, is that survivors of violence don't necessarily survive coercive control in some kind of a vacuum. There is a role of colonialism, racism, heterosexism, transphobia, ableism, and other structures of oppression that also play a role and shape their experience of violence and affect the coercive control. And I feel like the way the law is structured, it will land up creating an environment of erasing those experiences. And some of the language that I'm seeing in the bill is really highly problematic, right? Like alluding to talking about controlling of people's religion, controlling of culture. I see a lot of that, which basically is taking the experiences out of the real context of intersection of oppressions, and taking into this their own light version of understanding what control means in these relationships.